Hey everybody, this is Dr. Dane. Welcome to this installment of the Tour of Consciousness from lovely Castel Borgone, the Castello, the castle. Check it out, it's right behind me. 1,000 years old, oh my goodness. And you see the clock tower over there? Well, it's going off. It has been for the last 10 minutes. I don't know what it's trying to tell us. I think it's basically going, I'm alive, I'm alive. This is the only thing I can figure. So, and there's a guy making breakfast. How does it get any better than that? So what is the tool for today? Well, I don't know if you're aware, but March 20th is World Happiness Day. I got a Facebook Live going on. Definitely go to that one. Plus, I'll be on TV in Houston. How does it get any better than that? So in that regard, I'm going to tell you a little story from Dr. Dane. And I feel like I should take my jacket off and wear a sweater, and sit by the fire like Mr. Rogers or something. Little fireside chat for you. It's so funny to me also, though. It's like World Happiness Month or something, and definitely World Happiness Day on the 20th. That I know. I figured I would just consider March World Happiness Month. So there you go. That's what I'm doing. In my mind, World Happiness Month. But what's interesting to me is how unhappy so many people are. Now, the weird part is how unhappy people are even when they think they're happy. This is bizarre to me. So let me give you an example. The other day, I was having just an amazing friggin' time. So friggin' happy. Just so enjoying my life. And then a good friend of mine was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. And all of a sudden, and we're really good friends, really close. All of a sudden, I felt like my happy was gone. And I was like, wait a minute. You ever feel like somebody steals your happy? Don't you hate that? You finally get happy and then somebody takes it from you? Yeah, well, it's not exactly what happened, but I thought it did. And I was like, this is weird. So I was looking at it. I'm like, what really happened? And whenever I get, weird about something, I go, so what really happened? And what energy, space, and consciousness can I be to have total clarity and ease with all of this? So I started running that. And a few minutes later, I realized what I had done. Now, I'm sure you've never done this, which is why I'm telling you this story, by the way. Well, the clock tower keeps going, as it has for 13 minutes. Anyway, now it's 10:43. I don't think there's a gong for 10:43. So what I realized happened was I tapped into her world as to what the happiness was and tried to make that happy. Like when she said, I'm happy, and I was so happy, I was like, oh, this is what happiness is. So I tapped into her world for what happiness was. And then it felt like mine disappeared. Now, it's not that hers is less or mine is more. They're just different. So what is it for you that is your happiness that nobody else gets? And whenever you tell anybody you're happy and they tell you that they're happy, you kind of get really confused because it feels like yours goes away because their happy is not yours. None of us are alike. So whatever yours is going to be different for you. Whatever theirs is going to be different for them. And if you make the mistake of going, I'm happy, therefore they're the same thing, they're not. So everywhere you misidentified and misapplied that you're happy was somebody else's, or that their happy was yours, or that their happy was the same thing as yours, so your happy got less because you were trying to be their version of happy instead of yours. Will you just run and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So, maybe you can hear the real Italians behind me that are conversing. See? Look, real Italians, look, real Italian people. Oh my God, it's Italy. Oh my goodness. By the way, if you happen to be an American tourist, I just want you to know that talking slowly and loudly does not actually translate into other languages. Just thought I'd say that as sort of a public service announcement, for Americans around the world. So, one other thing. I was doing a session on this beautiful lady who's now a friend. This was many, many years ago. The first session I'd ever done on her first access class she'd ever been to. It was an intro night. It was a taste of being. And I had her up on the table doing a session. And what came up was actually to talk about happiness. And so I asked her, when was the last time you were truly happy? Now, what she did is she went back through her life, kind of going back and back and back. And she realized it was at 3 years old. Last time she was truly her being happy. The rest of her life, she'd done this thing that we talked about. And what she realized was, and if you would have asked her at that time when we did the session, she would have said she was a happy person. And by all accounts, she is, and people would see her as a happy person. And yet it was so much less than her actual happy was at 3 years old. And during the session, she started to unlock it again. She started to realize, oh my goodness, I've had so much more happiness, but I didn't realize it. And she'd been cutting it off and cutting it down and cutting it down because that's all people around her could have. And she'd been doing it for years, and here she was 30 years old and thinking she was happy, but it was so much less than hers. So my question to you now is, when was the last time you were truly happy as you? That phenomenal being you are that has its own way of being happy. And what would happen if you let yourself walk back and walk back and walk back and perceive that energy for a moment? Now, everything that does, will you now destroy and create everything you've done to limit it piece by piece, bit by bit over the years? And everything you've done not to allow that to be the happiness you have all the time. So bring out that beautiful, happy child you used to be. Let her play, let him play, and change the friggin' world. March 20th, World Happiness Day. Let's do what we can to create a happy world. Oh, one other thing, last thing on happiness. Okay, probably, maybe, who knows? You know how my brain is. ADHD galore. Combined with OCD and autism is a really great combination. Look at Sarah looking over the balcony. Anyway, so what was the last thing? Oh, I forgot. What was it? Oh, how many of you want to change the world? Yeah, I know. I saw you raise your hand in front of your iPhone right now as you're watching. Do you know the quickest way to do that? Get happy. This planet is dying for the lack of happy people, and I would like to see it live. It's possible, it's within our grasp, but we've got to choose it, and we've got to be willing to be as different as we actually are. So I adore you immensely. I hope this has been a contribution to you. Thank you for being part of the Tour of Consciousness. Thank you for being one of the few people in the world that actually desires to be happy and actually has the tools to choose it. Thank you, Access Consciousness, for all them tools. Okay, I'm going to go back and do castle stuff. Love that. I'm going to start talking like this from now on. I'll just be like, hello, darling, welcome to the castle. Welcome to my castle. Just shit like that, just to fuck with people, because it makes me happy. Okay, I adore y'all. And what if you truly being you are the gift, the change, and the possibility this world requires? Thank you for being in the world, my beautiful friends. I look forward to seeing you in person someday. Bye-bye.